Hi, my name is Holly Utrata-Halcomb, and I'm the administrator for Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District. I'm here to talk to you about clean water. Can you imagine going to a river or a stream to go fishing, swimming, and boating, and have it be so polluted that you can't use it? Our government set up the Clean Water Act in 1972 to control point source pollution. These are pollutants that one can trace back to end of pipe, such as from factories, sewage treatment plants. The goal of the Clean Water Act was to make our rivers, lakes, and streams fishable and swimmable by the year 2000. While water quality in Ohio did improve by about 50%, another problem was detected. So in 1993, Phase 2 of the Clean Water Act was implemented that targeted what we call non-point source pollution. Non-point source pollution is a term that's used to define pollutants that come from many different sources and are picked up by rainfall or melting snow. As runoff moves over the land, it picks up and carries away natural and human-made pollutants, and then deposits them into our lakes, rivers, and streams. Non-point source pollutants can include such things as excessive fertilizer, herbicides, pesticides that come from agriculture, residential areas. Can include oil, grease, toxic chemicals from urban runoff, sediment from construction sites, crops, forest land, and eroded stream banks, salt from irrigation practices and from our roads, bacteria and nutrients from livestock, pet waste, and faulty septic tanks. And lastly, atmospheric deposition and hydromodification. We all have an obligation to protect our rivers and lakes for future generations. We can remember the first time we ever cast our first line, launched a boat, or just enjoyed our waterways with our families. We all need to do our part for future generations so they can have the same experience. I hope this video has been useful to you. Together, we can make a difference. We all have the power to control non-point source pollution. David Tawney is the district's friend at Mariners Landing Marina in Hamilton County. Here's David to share some insight with us on how boaters can practice better boating habits.
Some of the typical boat maintenance that the boat owners will need to do, I guess, on a given year would be this. They'd want to definitely take care of, get a good wax job on the boat, keep it clean. There are some, there's waxes and cleaners that are environmentally friendly as far as a boat wash, and any of the ones that we do for customers, we try to use the environmentally friendly boat wash. The waxes, there's not a whole lot of choice in the waxes, but the way you wash them there is. And when we do an oil change, we do separate, we try to drain all the oil out of the filter before we throw the filter in the dumpster. And then we save the oil to sell to a recycler. So we make sure that we're not putting oil on the ground and putting it into the dumpster where it would go to a landfill.
Recycling is a very important thing to do to make Hamilton County a better place to live. Consider recycling your waste fluids and other items from your household and boat. Here is Holly Chrisman from Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District to tell us about the importance of recycling.
The Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District offers a great opportunity for Hamilton County residents to properly dispose of their household hazardous waste. And when I talk about household hazardous waste, I'm referring to products that will say on the label things like danger, poison, toxic, that you may have around your home. Those could include things such as gasoline, oils, cleaning products, lawn and pool chemicals, different kinds of cleaners. Our program allows Hamilton County residents to drop off these products at no charge to one of our 2 locations in Hamilton County. This program has been very successful over the past several years. In 2012, for example, we collected 299 tons of household hazardous waste from Hamilton County residents. We provide this program for quite a few reasons. One is we want to get unused or unneeded cleaning products and chemicals out of Hamilton County homes to prevent any accidental poisonings. Secondly, and most importantly for this audience, is we would want to make sure that household hazardous waste is not improperly disposed, whether that's dumping it in a stream or a river, or dumping it down your drain and having it potentially damage your septic system or have it dealt with by the Metropolitan Sewer District. And finally, we want to protect our sanitation workers. We always hear stories about garbage collectors that were injured when chemicals mixed in the back of their garbage truck. So we really want to make sure residents have a convenient outlet to get rid of these products, again, to reduce accidental poisonings, reduce illegal dumping, and to protect our garbage collectors. If more residents are interested in learning about this program, they can contact us via the website at hamiltoncountyrecycles.org to find the times and locations when the program will open in the spring.
When using the waterways, make sure you're careful about what goes into the water. Make sure you don't dump gas or other wastes or litter into the water. Always use the pump out station and be careful about the paints that you use on the boat. Here is David Toney telling us more about these issues.
The benefit of the bottom paint is that it keeps the marine growth to a minimum, and it makes it easier when you pull the boat out for the winter. It's a lot easier to clean the bottom of the boat off of the unwanted marine growth. Pretty much you can clean it off with a pressure washer or a hose. The last few years, some of the paint companies have come out with more water-based and more environmentally friendly coatings for the bottoms of the boat. Previously, the content of the paint tended to be more copper and heavy metals that would discourage the marine growth. Well, that at the same time, when it flakes off, it can be damaging to the marine life as well. The other issues that you run into as far as environmentally would be with fuel, with the gas spillage. We usually try to make sure that the customers do keep an eye on the overflow, and we have automatic shut-off valves on the nozzles so that it helps prevent the boats from overfilling. It's really advisable not to fill the fuel tank up all the way, because if you do on a nice hot day, the gasoline can expand and the vapors in the gasoline could actually leak out into the water. The state and the federal government has awarded grants to be able to put in pump out stations, and there are some of the pump outs located in various places in the greater Cincinnati area that the boaters can take advantage of.
Everything we do affects the environment around us and in turn water quality and our economic condition. Here's David to tell us the positive effects of keeping water clean.
The aquatic life in the river actually has, I think it's getting, we're seeing more and more. I think with some of the effects that the city's taken with the Fort Washington Way project and some of the other projects to keep the water clean has actually encouraged the growth of the fish. I had spoken, we have a commercial fisherman that puts his boat in at our launch ramp, and he said every year it seems like the catfish are more and more plentiful and they're actually larger, and it's something you wouldn't expect to see if the river quality was actually getting worse instead of improving.
Boaters may not realize the boating affects the land around the water and the aquatic life in the water. Here's Brian Bull, Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District Stream Specialist, to talk to you about erosion and the effects of pollution on aquatic life.
So what are some of the things that we can do on the landscape to help prevent pollutants from entering our waterway? From a sediment erosion control standpoint, if you have construction activity or grading activity, one of the things that you can do on the site to help control sediment is install silt fencing along the contour, along the downstream side of the activity, or mulch berms. And then once the grading is complete, it's important to get seeding, straw, and/or mulch, depending on the time of year, to help control that erosion. So, why do we want to keep sediment on the landscape? Why is it a pollutant? Essentially, sediment can carry fertilizers, pesticides, any chemicals that could be attached to that sediment into our river system. Also, sediment itself can suffocate riffle areas or some of those rocky areas that are viable habitat for fish spawning and macroinvertebrates or aquatic insects that provide a service for us. For example, dragonfly and damselflies start their life cycle in the water, and they're actually mosquito predators. So we like to keep these organisms around. One of the most important things that you can do to help improve water quality as well as protect the banks of your marina is to leave as much of the wooded vegetation and what we call the riparian corridor intact. The woody vegetation actually helps to filter pollutants that are running off of the landscape, off of parking areas and that kind of thing into the river system. Also, the root systems have what's known as tensile strength, where they bind the soils. They do an excellent job of holding the soils together. So when we see large mature woody vegetation, such as around here in southwest Ohio, sycamores, cottonwoods, your hackberries, walnut trees, a host of riverine woody vegetation do an excellent job of holding your banks intact for you. So the wider the corridor, the better. We recommend at least 50 feet, and there's studies that show 100 feet plus 2 feet for every 1% of slope are going to get the best function as far as water quality benefits and filtering those pollutants. So another aspect of the riparian corridor and the river system itself is that more of our waterways are starting to be designated as water trails, and a lot of users are coming to our waterways and more non-motorized boats as well. So we're having to share the river with other users. So things like getting trash out of our river systems is very important, not only from the aesthetic standpoint, but from the standpoint of protecting wildlife, and ensuring that fish and other organisms don't get intertwined and are harmed by our trash. It's very important. So the more that we can do on our end, the better that we're going to make the river system for all the other users. From a stormwater management perspective, there's a number of techniques that can be used to help reduce the pollution running off of our site into the waterway. One of these techniques is use of pervious pavement. Now, pervious pavement it doesn't take away any of the parking space and can actually be used as detention, as the pavement system itself and the subbase actually contains about 40% void space. And as water drains through the small holes in between the paver blocks, essentially what happens is the limestone bacteria actually can eat the oils and greases running off the landscape and through the pervious pavement. So it reduces the runoff volume and helps us treat stormwater. In 1991, we started to see the spread of the invasive zebra mussels on the Ohio River and in the Ohio River Basin. The problem with this is that the zebra mussels will outcompete our native species of mussels who do a good job of filtering the water for us and helping to clean the water. Mussels are these freshwater clam type organisms. So many of them, especially the zebra mussels, can attach to the hull of your boat. So it's important to, when the boat comes out of the water, to clean it very well before putting that boat into another body of water. And there are recommendations on the pressure washing and cleaning that we've heard. You can go to the Department of Natural Resources website as well. In addition to the zebra mussels, hydrilla, Eurasian water milfoil, and some other toxic algae such as blue-green algae that we don't want to be transporting to other waterways. So taking time to effectively clean your boat off and even dechlorinating or chlorinating some areas with 1 part chlorine, 10 parts water, for example, in your bilge areas, in your cooling areas, and your well areas there, are going to help prevent the spread of invasive species.
Thank you for watching this video. Like I said, we all have the power to control non-point source pollution, and together we can make a difference for us and our future generations.
Hi, I'm Pete Mallow, Chairman of the Board for the Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District. One of the goals of our organization is to educate people to better care for our soil and water resources. The video that you just saw was produced by the fine employees of the Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District. Whether you want to learn more about our soil and water resources or take an active role in protecting them, we are here to assist you. Please take a minute to visit us at hcswcd.org. Each one of us has a unique impact on our environment. Let's try to make that a positive one. Thank you for taking the time to share a few minutes with us.